Hey y'all, this is the Zen Cocoa podcast, where conversations are always centered on relatable and real as fuck self-care for super chill black girls. I'm your host Tameko, aka the Cocoa Butter Mama, and this week I'm talking about tapping into your self-care love language. I'm also sharing some of my favorite self-discovery questions, which I love because they always help connect me back with myself on the deepest level. And this week, I am so excited. We are having our first guest in the Zen Cocoa Zen Den. Our first guest chat, y'all, featuring my girl, the Homegirl healer, Reshena Johnson. I am so excited. So let's get into it. Enjoy the show.
You are now tuned in to Zen and Cocoa, the podcast centering radically unapologetic self-care for super chill black girls.
Hey, y'all. Welcome back. I'm so pressed, y'all. This is episode number 4, creating your own waves. And back to the press part. This is my 4th episode, which means 1 full month of podcasting. OMG, I am over the moon. I am so proud of myself. I am so thankful to y'all, everyone that has been pushing me, supporting me, telling me to keep going, giving feedback, all of it. It is so valuable. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This podcast is really a really large act of bravery and self-care for me. And I don't know if I've been transparent with you all about that. I had so much anxiety and fear just trying to even pull it together and get it out. And so again, I'm just so grateful for all of you all. That sounded awkward. For all of you guys for like spending this time with me, especially while I grow and try to figure it out. Anyway, I'm excited. Y'all get it. Let's get this episode underway and get into the first Kiki session that I have set up for y'all to enjoy and love with my good girlfriend, who's absolutely a super chill black girl. So that's the real fun in this episode. So let me move through all of the other stuff, right? So, and as always, I'm going to be giving you guys a reminder. Don't forget to hit up the Zen and Cocoa website. Hello, hit it up. I've set it all up for you. It's cute. It's informative. That's where you go to be able to get all of the links to every place that the podcast is streaming. Just click all the buttons and badges. They're all over the place. Also, your free Zen and Cocoa 7-day self-care planner is also on the Zen and Cocoa website. Don't forget to check both of those things out. Yeah, that's really just on the notes and things to know today. I just want to dive right into it. So this week, I wanted to round out the first 4 episodes, if you will, because I really felt like the first 3, I was kind of bringing up this loose theme of self-love. So I felt connected with staying in that space and really just kind of doubling down and emphasizing, when we start comfortably watering ourselves, it's like the best starting point to create and live out a sustainable and fulfilling self-care journey, right? And I just feel like if that's not the goal, then I really would want you to repurpose why you feel like you should not be, going for an extended self-care journey with yourself and with those around you. Because imagine going all out on, in air quotes, self-care that you don't even really vibe with. Like, girl, what? No, that's not. We want to feel comfortable, in our skin. Again, with emphasis as black women, taking ownership of our comfort is a birthright, but it is not normalized. So we need to be working on that. So being comfortable in our skin, our literal appearances, Okay. Being comfortable in our actions, our emotions, our sexuality, like in every way that we come. It is oftentimes a battle for the majority of Black women to experience the feeling of comfort in all or a lot or some of these places because, we're policed and attacked from all angles. And, honestly, y'all, I'm over it. I'm sick of it. It's now is the time. This is your sign to say F that. I'm over it. It's exhausting to try to keep up with whatever wild, wacky demands that are like literally not even attainable. And do you, sis? So F that and do you was really the point of all of that I just said. Right? Keep choosing y'all selves. I'm going to keep choosing myself. Keep choosing yourself. And I just really, again, this episode, I just really felt like I want us to be on our super baddie summer hot girl mom, whatever. I don't feel like it's a hot girl so much because I don't feel like I'm young enough in my knee strength. But what I'm saying is that we out here being cute, right? So let us be thinking about setting our own preferred pace for the things that we need and want to do. Start choosing what you need. Hello, what you need and what you want. And stop trying to appeal to people or places or spaces that won't even think about you. Okay? In a moment's time. It's simply pointless, right? And in keeping with that same energy, I wanted to share a fun way that I like to get into myself, and just kind of really be gauging like where my self-care needs are. And that's by asking, do y'all know what your self-care love language is? Like, right? Like, have y'all heard about your love languages? And I'm assuming that a lot of us have, love languages. There's 5 of them. And a lot of us are taught about like love languages and how to receive love and how you best respond, but also too, how you are giving love to those around you and how they receive it, right? So it's a bit of information that's really cool to talk about and kind of understand. And when it comes into self-care, though, it's like those 5 components of your love language, the expression of it, like it's so awesome. Anyway, I want y'all to be thinking about like, okay, what is your top 3 essential acts of self-care? I have mine. What are your faves? Like, what are they? Right. And so again, remember the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, receiving gifts, quality time, acts of service, and physical touch. So right now, I'm gonna be honest. I'm all about the quality time and physical touch, like self-care love languages right now. And I'll tell y'all why. Because I am nursing my toddler at almost 17 months in. She's almost 17 months in a few days at the time of the recording. And I also stay at home full time, wifing and momming it up and down. So alone time, y'all, woo, so rewarding. It's so rewarding and recharging for me to literally be by myself. My family dynamic is one where I am not often able to do that. And it is by choice, but I still need that. Okay. So it allows me to like reset from being touched out, and needed, by the baby. And it allows me also to kind of like put down some of my to-do list, to just tune inward for a little bit. Again, just literally not having to be like hyper vigilant about my toddler doing something crazy and dangerous is such a relief. Shout out to the moms of toddlers, because I feel like you hear what I'm saying there. Yeah, I just love it. I love the personal time because it's also time for like pampering and making sure I feel and look super cute. It's, where I'm doing facial and steams on my face. And I am like such a product junkie in the skincare game, y'all. So that's all that space too. It's time to play in potions and lotions and all of that. And I also like to use that time to kind of spend pursuing my passions, which is kind of work, but not really for me. It's the space that I hold, like where I am making the podcast and where I'm working in making product for Cocoa Butter Mothers. It's like the passion space is also for me. It's a part of my quality time with myself, and that's just it. So, yeah, again, like, be thinking about that. Like, where are you guys at right now? What are you vibing with? So just for a little clearer understanding. So let's start with physical touch, right? Physical touch, in your self-care love language are generally things that like literally make your body feel yummy, delicious, loved on, pampered, if you will. So that's going to look like, maybe our massages, our spa days, like how I literally just said, my skincare is all the way on fliggity because I make space. So I feel like skin, hair, and nail rituals, absolutely. That's like your physical self-touch or self-care love language. Yeah, and quality time. So again, my other favorite, right? Quality time is doing stuff with and for yourself, basically, our hobbies, things that you absolutely love, your passions. With emphasis on the alone. So that is like meditating, reading, collecting stuff, again, emphasis on your passions and hobbies. So whatever those may be, right? When you're able to pull those things out and enjoy them specifically and only because you want to be participating in them and enjoying them, right? So words of affirmation is all about encouraging yourself to do better. This looks like, for the girls that are out here with your daily affirmation cards or decks, whether you're writing them down or making sure to speak them to yourself, or journaling. And that doesn't have to even be daily. Let me not stress you all out or myself, because I don't always journal every single day. So let's take the stress out of that. But also this is your journaling. So maybe you journal several times a week, once a week, whatever your frequency is. It's all the same, right? And absolutely, working on self-improvement habits is just a wonderful part of words of affirmation, because that requires you to definitely be speaking positivity and encouragement, and working on your willpower there, right? So acts of service. I love acts of service because it's basically you intentionally setting yourself up for making sure that life moving ahead is vastly improved, easier, somehow made better because of the effort that you're putting in. So this is the space. Acts of service for your own self looks like when you're getting organized, when you're planning, when you are, that you want a meal plan, but girl, you actually wrote down all the things you need and you went to the store and got them and planned. Like, it's the whole A to Z of making sure that you get yourself together. So that's also going to therapy. Okay. Acts of service to yourself, going to therapy, unpacking your stuff with a professional that is able to help you do that. Also, one of my fave, and it sounds really easy, but again, in new mom space, cleaning up our clutter. Cleaning up our clutter is a really great act of service. Just making it just a little bit easier to navigate your space and just to feel like you can actually sit down and unwind. That's a wonderful feeling. Receiving gifts. Now that one is absolute fan fave for most of the girls. I really do hope that that's a true statement. Because this is where we treat ourselves, this is indulgence right here. This is the gifts and the things that we want to get for ourselves that bring us joy, because we created the bag to get them. And that's just what it is. And that's awesome and amazing, because this is where we plan for vacations. When we going out, when we're outside, when I say when we're outside, y'all know what that is. When we're outside, that's where the receiving gifts situation is happening, because we're being cute. We've made the look. You're pulling up with your friends. How are you getting there? What are we eating? Are we at a table or no? Like all of that stuff, that is the clothes, it's the hair, it's the look. fun. It's cute. That's also our self care. So, black women, black girls, know that that part is important. Don't let nobody make you feel weird because you're flexing your dollars on the stuff that you love that makes you feel amazing. So, let me just end all of that part to say, do you think that you guys are giving yourselves enough care in your favorite self care, self love, areas? I really want to know, do you think that you're giving yourself enough time in the spaces that that you would prefer to be treating yourself, or to be bettering yourself, or to be making yourself feel better? And all the way honest with y'all all the time. I know for damn sure that I am not doing that, but I absolutely try my best. And I think that matters, okay? So, real quick, before we get into our fun conversation, again, I'm bursting to the seams, y'all. I'm so excited, right? So let me just cover. I wanted to leave y'all with a few questions that I love to come back to in my journal. Okay. They're called self-discovery questions for a reason, because it's supposed to make you feel like you are actually querying yourself to find truth and honesty, and to really move yourself ahead, right? So I feel so deeply connected to myself when I'm going back to my discovery questions. And I have a ton, I keep a ton, but I just wanted to share a few, because again, I just feel able to extract like exactly what I need and want, especially in the moment, but just in general, and feel like more and more affirmed in my pursuit of all of those things when I am really answering my self-discovery questions. So it just really is important for me. I don't want to lose my voice or my vision because I'm over here chasing a watered down version of those things defined by others. That's literally the opposite of creating my own lane, my own waves. And that's just not what we're talking about. And that's just not what we're going to do. So ask yourself these questions, come back to them, starting with, what matters to me most right now? I love that question. I love that it makes it so that you can bite it off and really put it in the place that you're in. I feel like that answer should always change, and that's why you should always come back to it, right? The next question, am I actively fulfilling my important needs and desires? I love it, because answer the question. You know the answer. Are you, or are you not? And if you're not, then girl, what you gonna try to do about it? Okay? So the next question, what are my personal gifts? And it's actually a twofer, because not only am I asking myself what are my personal gifts, but I also like to follow up and ask myself, am I using them in a meaningful way? Because for me, both are important. So I just want y'all to sit with those questions. Don't rush the answers. That's not what this is about either. It's about self-work, coming back to self, being open and honest. Really do the work to answer yourself honestly, openly, candidly. This is work for yourself. Okay? I really, really, really love journaling. We can actually unpack that in another episode. And I actually hope that you guys will want to know more about it. So again, like I said, come back to those questions, y'all. Some of my faves. Let's get me out of here talking solo dolo to you guys, and keep the show moving, keep it lively. Again, so excited. Reshena is the first featured guest into the Zen Cocoa Zen Den, the Homegirl healer, my bestie. Enjoy the conversation that I had with my girl. We spent like a little bit of time letting you guys into getting to know who Reshena is, all that she does, and getting her perspective on creating your own waves. So enjoy that. Talk to y'all in a minute. Hey, Reshena. What's
Hey
up?
girl, what's
Hey.
poppin', boo?
I'm so excited that you are gracing me and everyone listening with your presence and time in being the first guest on the Zen Cocoa podcast. And we're chilling in what I like to the Zen Den. So welcome.
Yes,
Welcome.
Zen Den.
Yes, come on, Zen Den. So
Oh,
welcome to the
girl.
Zen Den. I love you so much. I know you, so I don't need it. But for the for for the sake of everyone listening, please, hey girl, hey, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are. What do you do? Give us a quick glimpse into the life, the woman, the legend, the myth.
So
Yes,
first of all, hey girl, hey friend, hey
yes.
girls. My name is Reshena, the homegirl healer. I am a Reiki master teacher, a yoni steaming practitioner, an intuitive coach, meditation guide, and I am also the creator, host, the baller and the shot caller of the Cosmic Drag podcast.
Ow.
So,
Ow.
you know me, all of the things that I do are really focusing on helping Black women to heal and reconnect to our goddess energy. I'm all into that because it's time for us to really elevate. So, everything I'm doing is all about that. So, that is me in a nutshell, girl.
Yes, and I love the nutshell. I'm a fan. I hope y'all know it. Um, yeah. So Rashina, with that in mind, healing for Black women. That's why we're here. You know, that's one of my favorite topics as well. Uh,
Absolutely.
why do you identify as a super chill Black girl, and how do you define your self care?
So why am I a super chill black girl? I think I was not a super chill black girl until I got a little older. Um, I'm super chill because for the most part I am relaxed. I'm focused on me and just being in my own lane. I like to keep it cute and keep it cool. I've learned how to manage my fire. So I think that that helps me to just kind of relax, and I've been on this kick of going with the wind and not against it. So that is what I think makes me a super chill black girl.
I love it.
I just try to get in my lane and cruise, child. So,
I love it. I
and
love being in a lane and cruising, girl. Yes. One of my favorite super chill Black girls. I love it. And okay, so get into, again, a favorite topic that I have discussed ad nauseum with Rashina, right? In many situations, self care. How do you define self care? Because I like saying it so much because I feel like it's like gag worthy because it's so commercial, it's so trendy, it's so we hear it all the
hmm
time, all day and night, right? So it can be like
hmm
roll your eyes, right? So I want to hear like how do you define self care and why is it important for and to you as a Black woman?
So for me, I think you're right. Self care is always like, oh, you have to like have on your little robe and your little cucumber water and all of that bullshit. Like that is that is cool. I love that. I love a good spa day. We've had many spa days, girl, and COVID-19 has been hating on our situation because otherwise we would have been at the spa.
Been at
But
the
for
spa.
me, that is like a component of self care, but that is not what defines it for me. It's literally self care is literally indulging yourself. Because for me, self care is, like I like to keep my nails popping. Going to get my nails done is self care for me. Taking a
Right.
nap during the day is legit self care for me.
Oh my God,
Laying
same.
around and doing nothing when I feel like I just need a moment, I need to breathe. Just indulging and doing the things that just make me feel good in the moment and just make me feel like that helps me to be able to breathe a sigh of relief and let my shoulders down. So to me, that is what self care is. And sometimes that is, that's me getting my nails done. It's me just taking a nap. It's me, having a glass of wine and sitting on my deck and enjoying the trees. It's when I get in the shower or take a bath, cutting on music and just allowing it to take me on a journey in that space, just cleansing and clearing myself.
I love
So
that.
all of the things that make me feel like I'm really just indulging myself, the things that make me feel like I'm really tapping into my personal inner goddess, that is what self care is about to me.
Yeah, and
And
just I love that you are saying indulging, right? Because using that word and that language as a Black woman in specifics to our self care, really pouring into yourself
mhm,
is, it sounds so easy, but it's a foreign concept to a lot of us. and being in rest, being in relaxation, being like waited on, served, um, in the lap of luxury. That's a
Mhm.
concept that I think a lot of us need to work on receiving better.
I agree.
And
I agree.
so I love the word indulgence because it implies decadence and deliciousness and
Okay.
all types of yummy, yummy feelings. And I don't know about you, child. Well, look, I do know about you. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm lying. I do know about you, but I don't know about everybody else. Um, but man, I love thinking about my self care being full of indulgence.
Mhm. Mhm.
Self care should not be a struggle. It should not be a guilt trip. It should not be you worrying about what the kids is doing and who
Mhm.
doing what and whoop de whoop. It is literally about indulgence for self,
Mhm. Mhm.
self care.
I
So
agree.
again, I love your word choice, friend. I appreciate it, and I really feel like it was something to highlight there because if you're not feeling good about your self care, then what exactly is the point, right?
I think
And
it's
speaking, I like
performative.
that you. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my God. Get, let's unpack that. Let's unpack that. Let's unpack that. Speaking to performative self care, that's something to like unpack. And I wanted to ask you, the main topic that I presented for us to really go over in my solo part of the podcast, creating your own wave, creating your own lane, like doing you.
Mhm.
And I think that performative self care is absolutely something that is not aligned with doing you. You're
Mhm.
doing something else.
Mhm.
So please, friend, elaborate, unpack. Tell me just your generalized thoughts on the topic about creating your own way.
So creating your own wave. So I mean, friend, you know me. We've been in the trenches all this time, so you already know what time it is. And that is
Yeah,
one of the things that I think draws us to each other as friends because we both have always been very much our own people. We have always ridden our own wave. And I think when we look at the opposite of that, and we've had this discussion, like, I hate the imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I hate that shit. I hate it
yeah,
because it's not flattering to
absolutely.
me. Like, imitating me is
It's
not
not
flattering
flattering.
to me, baby girl. No, thank you. You should be in your own lane doing your own thing. And so when I say performative self care, it's like you're doing the self care stuff that you think people will be interested in, so you can flick it up for the gram and flex.
Yes,
You know what I mean? It's not really about doing
exactly.
what really nurtures you. When I'm taking my nap, I don't have time to flick it up. I don't have time for that.
Okay.
When I'm in the shower or the
It
tub,
is not a photo op.
okay, oh girl, and I feel like I
I
told you
look a
this,
hot mess when I'm napping.
girl.
Hey.
I feel like I told you this, but when me and my boo were on vacation recently, they had this big tub in the hotel room. And I literally took a bath and soaked in that tub and listened to my music and just went in every single day that we were on
Yes.
vacation. And that
A
was really
vibe.
much like a recharge for me because so much was going on. Mercury retrograde had technology hating on my whole life. Like, I was still working on vacation and all of that, but being able to just like fully release and let my hair down in that moment to hear the words of the music I'm listening to and let those words fill me up, let those words tap into my different emotions. It just that there is something about that that's really recharging. Those are experiences that I want to have and I need to have that are essential to my self care that I don't have time to be putting on social media. Those are experiences that I'm not worried about sharing with other people because it's really about making the focus on me. But like I said, people really want to be performative and they want you to because self care is like a buzzword now, child. It's part of like the the
Yeah.
the jargon that everybody talks, especially like us being people who are in
Yeah.
the healing space and the healing community. Everybody says it. Oh, girl, I'm so exhausted. So you are always having to think about how you can demonstrate to people that you're taking care of yourself. I'm not worried
Right.
about that. It's not about how I can promote this to other people. It's really not about that. It's about me. We spend so much time not centering ourselves and not focusing on ourselves. And the reasons why we do that is varied. Sometimes, like in life, like you said, as Black women, we really spend a lot of time, it's a lot of output coming from us. to other people, to other things, to everything outside of ourselves. Self care is about returning that energy and pointing it inward, returning it to yourself. And so staying
Right.
in your own lane means you're doing it how you want to. So maybe like a spa day is not for you. You know, as a Reiki practitioner, one of the questions I always ask my clients is if they like hands on or hands off Reiki. Some people are not comfortable with touch for whatever reason, different traumas and experiences that they have. So self care does not look like a massage to them. And that's okay. But what does self-care look
Right.
like for you that makes you feel good, that makes you feel recharged, that makes you feel like you got what you came to get? That is up to you as the individual. So really doing what you want to do, not worrying about what other people are telling you is self-care, not worrying about how your self-care can look on social media, really focusing in on you and what you want. Because for some girls, getting their hair done is self care. For some girls, me included, me definitely, you know, taking time to enjoy nature's gift, enjoy the devil's lettuce is self care. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it's really about you. It's not about the interweb tells you it's social media. I mean, it's self care. What does it look like
Right.
for you? That's what matters most.
I love everything that you said and absolutely agree, per use. Um, and just really kind of riding off of the end of really emphasizing the
Mhm.
you portion of all of this. Self care is literally defined to be a internal decision making lifestyle change that you're making for yourself with yourself to enrich the relationship that you have with
Mhm.
yourself, for your wellness and your well-being. And that is why the emphasis on fine tuning the activities that you are choosing and curating and intentionally setting up and setting the time that you're setting aside, the rituals that you're
Mhm.
engaging in, everything that you're defining as your self-care is literally, if you're doing it for someone else or something
Mhm.
else aside from you, it is not self-care.
Mhm.
It is topical
Mhm.
nonsense. It is fluff. It is bullshit. It is not
Mhm.
real. And it is performative. And it's easy to get trapped in self care being very commercial and topical. I use that language a lot, especially not only in the healing community, but I create and sell product that I would love for you guys to indulge in and use in your self care rituals. So it's like a fine line of walking, um, promoting self-care topically and commercially, because it does not start and end there. And I think that a lot of people think that, like you said, Rashina, the spa robes and the cucumber waters and the mud baths. And again, it gets real sexy now. Like, let's not act like it's not cute and it's not healing. So I'm not trying to say that we don't need or want our physical and topical and money that we're spending for our self-care. These things are all components of um your self love
Mhm.
language for your self
Mhm.
care, right? Um, but again, it's not one thing or the other. It should be a balance. It should be you enriching yourself in these loving ways by being stern with yourself sometimes. Your self care is you literally doubling down on, okay, I have this horrible habit and I need to
Mhm.
stop it. Self care is confronting yourself in there, and not only confronting yourself, but adjusting, changing, evolving past it, beating the habit. That's self
Mhm.
care, because if you know it's a bad habit and you're choosing yourself, so it's not always pretty. It's not always fun, and it's absolutely not always
Mhm.
picturesque. Because, like I said, please get the hell out of my face if I'm nappy, because it's ugly and it's real and
Okay.
it's raw.
But you made some really great
Right?
points. You made some excellent points. And that's why, like, when we're talking about staying in our lane, that is what stay like focusing, like riding your own wave, doing you in the way that works for you. And so, like,
I love how you said
I
that.
love like that you said, because the part of self care that is most important is the self. The self is the most important.
Right.
Centering yourself. This, like, self care is also an opportunity to pursue your passions, your interests, to try new things. For
Mm-hmm.
me, like for me personally, like I love all of my yoga friends, but yoga is not self care for me because I don't want to be like, I don't want to be bent over for that. Okay. I don't want to like that is too much. That's not how I want to care for myself. I like to, okay,
I
I'm
am not
not
relaxed,
relaxed.
girl.
I my self care is a bit more lazy for like, and that's just it. Just recognizing who you are and not worrying about, well, this is what other people say, or this is what people say self care is supposed to be. So if I'm not doing these things, that's not self care. That is not true. You can't be worried about how somebody else perceives self care. Ride your wave. Don't ride their wave because their wave is gonna run. It's gonna run you over the same way that your wave will run somebody else over if they were trying to be on yours. It's really about prioritizing yourself, centering yourself, putting yourself first, and doing what makes you feel like you are putting yourself first in that moment. Not about other people.
I think I like you saying in that moment because for me that's really important to emphasize just in self-care in general. Um but specifically speaking to like your specific needs or forms or wants in the moment for your self-care. I feel like it's okay to honor and we should really get comfortable with kind of knowing that there's like a duality thing happening where you probably for sure everybody is going to have their like
Mhm.
static like the things that you know for sure that if you have the means and the ability you're going to make sure that these self-care needs are met. So obviously I hope that our essential daily needs
Mhm.
of course are being met, right? But on top of that, that may be looking like you want to get your nails done because that is you love
Mhm.
it, you feel good, you look good. If that is an essential part of it, or the massage, or
Mhm.
the whatever you love learning, so you take a
Mhm.
new course at the community center every quarter, whatever it is. um so whatever. I don't want to I don't want to go off on that tangent too deeply, but I just feel like it's important to note that you're able to have like some static things, but also be fluid in what you need in the part of life that you are in. Like whether that be the momentary, maybe you had a real
Mhm.
shit day and you thought that you were gonna be like out here excelling and like knocking down your to do list, but it actually flips upside down and you really just need some ice cream and you're just trying to like
Mhm.
pull your shit together. It, you know what I'm saying? Like when you have to make a decision to enact a self-care emergency situation or like when it goes to a situation where um again we're all evolving and moving and living, and I can definitely say that I would say that before becoming a mother I would say that my self-care like must have
Mhm.
were different and now my
Mhm.
needs are different. I really 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 and I spoke to this in the solo part of the podcast about I really now I need like space, so
Mhm.
like me time, so like quality time as my like self-care love
Mhm.
language for myself. Quality time with myself by myself, love it, so awesome. Oh my goodness. I don't think that that's too much different than my previous
Mhm.
life, my transformed self, right? But the the way that I need it, just the application of it, the value of it for me, it has really shot up in
Mhm.
importance where I have to claim it for sure.
Absolutely.
Like, oh my god,
But you
oh my
know
goodness,
something?
cannot
With the
emphasize that
like with the
enough.
different transitions we have in life because so I have really like ramped things up and have been maneuvering a lot different in terms of my business and my brand. And so before, self-care looks different now because the way my time is divided is different. It's totally different.
Right.
So for me, being able to recognize that I'm overwhelmed with all of the work that I'm doing. Self care looks like saying, I really don't give a damn about any of that business stuff. It's my business and I can do things when I want to or not. I can take this moment to have a nap, or if I just want to cuddle in bed with my boo
Mm-hmm.
and not and like totally disconnect because I spend like, and you already know how it is running a business. when you have a regular job, it's 9 to 5 or
Right.
whatever your hours are. But when you're running a business, like, child, you already know. I done been up like 12 a.m. working on shit, and that's taking away time from me just doing whatever I want to do, spending time with my husband, child, and attending to him.
Right.
Like, there has to be a time when I'm just like, you know what, none of that. I'm cutting this off. I'm just going to cuddle in bed with my boo. I'm gonna watch, I love my Hallmark movies and mysteries and my fucking Lifetime mysteries, girl. You know how I am, and I love my YouTube. Just like sometimes it's even to the point where I'm
I
like,
know.
I'm taking in so much information. I have to remember to give myself like a mental cleanse. So I have to change up the content that I'm doing. I have to change up how I'm doing self care. So sometimes that means I need naps every day. Sometimes that means that, like, I just need a moment to go outside and breathe.
Really doing self
Mhm.
care on your terms and your
Mhm.
way. And that is really, again, the
Yep.
core of what the point is, right? Like taking ownership of it. What you need in the moment, what you need in the distance, the future, the present, the past, whatever.
Mhm.
It's how you define it. And I think that that's really
Yeah.
powerful. I like it.
Oh,
I
girl.
love it.
Hey, something
I
else
want some
really
more
quick
of
I want to say, before, like, I always see people say self care isn't selfish. And that grinds my gears because self care, when it's done right, it should be selfish. We have a really interesting relationship with the terminology, with the term
like it.
selfish. It's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. You don't have to do these things at the expense of others, but it's nothing wrong with focusing on you and centering yourself. So to me, when they say self care isn't selfish, if it's not selfish, it's not being done right. It's not being done right.
I mean, I love, first of all, my mouth was like, okay, tell us then. And honestly, I was gonna ask you, like, before we go, Rashina, give the girls just a little bit of something, just a little bit of something they can take home with them. And I just feel like you did that already because
I
that's what that
understood
was.
the assignment, child.
Um, because self care, base. Look, you understood the assignment on deck and on ready, already, and I love it. And basically, I need to sit with that because I actually am one of the people that are always like self care isn't selfish, but I actually like the perspective flip because it's all
Hmm.
about you. It is all about you. So, double down and take ownership of the selfishness levels that you need to take to get your shit together and get your mind right and restore your heart and your feelings and whatever else your
Hmm.
self care is
Hmm.
making you feel good about. Remember
Hmm.
the key word is indulgence. So I like the
Girl.
mic drop. I like the mic drop, Rashina. Look, hey, I'm not gonna keep you all night. I'm not going to keep you all night. I love you so much. I thank you for spending time and again being my first chill as fuck, super chill as fuck, awesome, amazing black girl up in the Zen Den, kicking
Yes.
some combo with me. Um, yeah, before we go, let the people know how to get to you, where to reach you at, what's going on with that, and of course, we're going to add all their Rashina's contact information in the description when the podcast is playing, so y'all can click and make sure you link up with her. But yeah, head us out, Rashina. Let us know where to
First of
find
all, friend,
you.
you already know I love you so much, and I'm so happy to be the first guest on your podcast,
Yay.
girl. Where else would I be? What else would I be doing,
Yes.
girl? But they're showing up for my homie, my home
I
girl,
love
my
it.
sister, my friend.
Hey.
Obviously, where else would I be but here doing this? Okay. But where y'all can find me, you can hit me up on my website, www.thehomegirlhealer.com. You can link up with my podcast there or at thecosmicdrag.com. Social media handles, Instagram at the Homegirl Healer, on Facebook as the Homegirl Healer, on YouTube as the Homegirl Healer, Homegirl Healer on Twitter and Clubhouse. And child, Tameko done got me on damn TikTok. So you can find me there as the Homegirl Healer as well. Oh girl. Oh girl.
TikTok is so lit. I love it. She love it too,
I'm
y'all. That's
so
why she got on
exhausted.
there. Don't even let her hate. If you ain't on TikTok,
If
it
you
don't.
ain't
If you
on
ain't on TikTok, get
TikTok,
on there. It's
you are one
fun.
of them
It's
hoes that
so
can't even
fun. Oh
spell
my goodness.
fog. What are you doing with your life?
Oh my goodness. You are late. You're late. Oh my goodness. You're so funny.
I
Anywho,
love you too, friend.
love you so much.
Peace,
See y'all
girl.
later. Enjoy the show. Bye guys. Y'all, thank you so much for listening to the Zen and Cocoa podcast. This was episode number 4, Creating Your Own Waves. I hope you enjoyed it. And the amazing first Zen Den conversation featuring the Homegirl Healer. Don't forget to catch up on the other episodes if you haven't already. And basically stay tuned for next week's episode. Y'all know the vibes. We're always dropping on Wednesdays. Stay tuned. Peace, y'all.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, like, and subscribe so you won't miss the next Zen and Cocoa combo. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Zen and Cocoa, and follow host Tameko on Instagram at Cocoa Butter Mothers. Peace.